'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your...
What's up, my restored beauties? Welcome back to my channel. It's April 20th, 2018. As many of you know, this month we have been talking about the 5 love languages. Today I am ending it with the last love language. Say hello to my buddy here, whose love language is touch. Yes, he likes hugs and touches and rubbing his head and his back, shaking hands, holding hands, rubbing the feet. If your spouses, and I'm not talking just to husbands, I'm talking to wives as well, if your spouse's love language is touch, keep on listening. To the person whose love language is touch, nothing speaks more appropriate touch. And it doesn't mean only in the bed. Okay, it's getting weird here. It's everyday connections like holding hands, rubbing the back, rubbing your feet, or any type of reaffirming physical contact is greatly appreciated. A person whose love language is touch, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are touchy all the times, but getting a little touchy, it does make them feel safe, loved. Any instance of physical abuse is a total deal breaker. Okay? What do you think, darling? Am I nice to you? Hello. I am nice to you. How do we keep staying in love during marriage? I believe by learning to speak each other's love language. For some men, physical touch means sex only, but that is not the only dialect of love. And if your spouse's love language is physical touch, nothing means more than a tenderly love to them. You may give them words of affirmation, gifts, but nothing communicates love to them like physical touch. When you find out that your spouse's love language is physical touch, then use your imagination and see what type of physical touch they like and exercise it every day. Give a morning kiss, give a goodnight kiss. Before you leave work, hug each other. When you come from work, hug each other tight. Sometimes a hug releases stress. Hugs also create emotional closeness and emotional healing. And if you're not a touchy person, then maybe you should not get married. Stay single. Or you could learn the love languages and reap the benefits. Every marriage will experience crisis. Disappointments are part of life. Like, you just can't avoid those. The most important thing that you can do for your wife or your husband, if touch is their love language, is to hug them. Hold her while she cries. Hold her if she's quiet too. If she doesn't want to say nothing, a hug will mean more than you just sitting there and saying words and encouraging or saying, yeah, you know, it will get better, this and that. Sometimes a hug is all she or he might need at that moment. Because the words do have meaning, okay? But nothing will communicate more to that person. Nothing will communicate more that you care for that person like a hug, a touch from you. And a hug is worth 1,000 words. Physical touch is a powerful love language. Don't be too judgmental if you know somebody whose love language is touch, you know? They just want to hug all the time. Personally, touch is probably, I mean, I love hugs. They do mean a lot to me, but I'm not a touchy person. With strangers, I don't know. I think with strangers, or even like extended family. However, I do enjoy a hug from my husband, you know. And many times I could be stressed or I could be having a bad day. If he hugs me, you know, if it's like 3 seconds, I feel like his care, his love, his energy is transferred to me, and I sense that, and it makes me feel calm. It makes me feel like you know, loved, cared, protected, that I'm not alone, you know. And if you know somebody whose love language is primary love language is physical touch, don't withhold that, you know, because sometimes you might have you might not, even if you're mad, you know, sometimes a physical touch, a hug can resolve a lot, you know. Most of the wounds that a lot of marriages today experience are emotional, deep emotional, and they come due to lack of miscommunication. Like, we don't know how to communicate with each other. And I'm saying that because I am just now learning how to communicate with my husband, and we've been married for 8 years. Okay, so that's kind of a long time, but by God's grace we made it, and we're making it every single day. But we put an effort, you know, because we wanted to work. So you find ways that will work before it gets too late, you know, before the wounds are too deep, before the walls are too high. Although I think with God's help any wound can be healed. I think forgiveness is possible. I think with God's help any wall can be broken down that's in between you and your spouse. But don't let it get there, you know. Buy the book, like I said, you know, the link will always be in the description below. Buy the book, take the quiz. This is not a joke quiz, you know. This is not a quiz where you just find out your daily horoscope, or this is something that could save your marriage. This is something that could save your relationship, whatever relationship you might be engaged, married, dating, courting, whatever that's called, whatever relationship you call. I believe, you know, if we learn how to communicate with each other, no matter the differences, I think we can coexist in peace, love, and understanding. These all sound good to say them, you know, and yeah, sure, I agree, but to actually do them, it's a whole different aspect or different business. Find out what your love language is, find out your spouse's love language is, and talk it through, share it with each other, and you will be surprised. You'll be surprised what actually you will find out about your spouse, about your partner, things that you may not even know. And then you're gonna sit down and you're gonna think, you know, and a lot of things are gonna start making sense. You know, you're gonna be thinking, oh, I know why he acts like that now. I know why she acts like that. Oh, I know why you expect me to be like that. Because your love language is this, you know. If your primary love language is words of affirmation, you expect your spouse to say good things to you, to compliment you every day, to encourage you. And if he doesn't know, he ain't gonna say it, okay? I mean, he's not going to say it. But if he knows it and he loves you, he will say it. And if your spouse's love language is quality time, he or she will expect you to spend that time with her or him, you know, will expect you to take time aside, you know, from everything and spend that quality time with that person, you know. But if you don't know it, then you're gonna spend this whole life, you know, going in circles and expecting something that person may not even know, because they don't know you, they don't know your love language, they don't know what to expect. Or if your spouse's love language is receiving gifts, he or she may be expecting gifts from you, you know. And I'm not saying like going out there and buying a car or buying something expensive, you know. A gift is a gift, small, big, you know. What matters is the thought, the love behind it. But if your spouse does not know that your primary love language is receiving gifts, again, you will be just, you know, be expecting and going in circles, and you will be frustrated. You may even resent that person because you're like, well, they should know that I like gifts. Or if your spouse's love language, primary love language, is acts of service, he or she might be expecting you, usually women, expect you to do work around the house, do the dishes, pick up after yourself, do the laundry once in a while, mow the lawn or something around the house, you know. Sorry if the lighting is changing. The sun is just shining, okay? It's doing its thing. You are, if he or she is expecting you to help them, you're not going to do it because you don't know. So they are going to end up frustrated. You're going to be frustrated because you don't know why he or she's acting like that. So it causes, you know, like this friction in between, this misunderstanding, then there's bad words back and forth, and there's the feeling of being, you know, feeling ungrateful, unappreciated. So to avoid all that misunderstanding, all those fights, all that resentment, all those bickering, all those bad feelings, all those wounds, take the quiz, okay? And get to know your spouse's love language. Get to know your love language. Because life gets better when you know your spouse's love language and you exercise it. So when you take the quiz and read the book, it will help you. You know, I'm not saying the quiz is a magic pill that you take and all of a sudden your marriage works. Okay? Disclaimer, that's not what I'm saying, okay? There's no magic here. The magic happens when you put the work in, you do, you know, you put the effort and you work every single day, because marriage is like trying to grow a tree, okay? You gotta put water and sun and warm weather every single day, otherwise it's not going to grow, it's not going to get better. So take the quiz and let me know in the comments below if physical touch is your love language. Let me also know if there's a topic you want me to touch base for this month or the next month. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Also click the bell button, because if you don't, YouTube won't tell you when I upload. And then if you want to see him again, my little squishy froggy friend, give this video a double like. He's got green eyes. Hey, be blessed. Bye bye.